Much discussion amongst coaches is based on their particular system that they run on offense and defense. And one of the decisions being whether to develop your own system and then have players fit your system, or recruit players to fit your system, or to fit a system around the players who you have available to you, whether those are the ones that you recruit or at a high school level, the ones that show up in the gym on the first day. For a long time, I and one of my friends, Clay Callum, and I have talked about this and discussed it and written about it, that the system that you choose doesn't matter so much. The more important is that the players believe in the system that you choose. So if you choose the best possible system for a group of players that nobody could argue with, but the players don't believe in the system, it's not going to be as effective as just randomly, throwing a dart at a wall and picking out whatever system the dart hits and employing it with those players if the players believe that that's a system that works for them. And so as I was listening to a podcast about the placebo effect yesterday, I thought about this as well. The placebo effect essentially works because we believe, and in some cases we want, whatever it is, the pill that we're taking, we want it to work. And so it works. And so it kind of shows the power of belief. And I think whether we're talking about coaches with a system or we're talking about, specific trainers, efficacy with players through their training, again, oftentimes it doesn't matter what's actually done. It matters more that there's the belief that what you're doing is going to get the results that you desire. And so if a team believes that the system that the coach is running is the best system and is going to help them win, then it's likely to be a very effective system. If the system that a coach runs, the players don't believe in it, or they question it, or their parents are constantly telling them that they're running the wrong plays and so forth, so the players start to question the system, it doesn't matter if it's the best system, it's not going to work once the belief erodes. And oftentimes at higher levels, that tends to be where you see coaching changes, is when there's a sense that there's a lack of belief in the coach's system. With trainers, the same thing tends to work. If the player believes that the training that he or she's getting from this trainer is going to make them a better player, it's more likely to make them a better player than if they, aren't convinced, or if they're skeptical, or if the trainer doesn't have a great reputation, or whatever could lead to a little bit less belief in that type of training. So, the placebo effect isn't necessarily everything, and at some point, the system needs to make sense, the training needs to be effective, but a lot of what we get from the training, or what we get out of a particular system, really does come down to the belief in what we're doing, and the belief in how we're doing it. And when that belief is strong, there will be better results than when that belief is not as strong. So as a coach, the takeaway is to get the players on board with the system that you're using. I try to give players some control over what we're going to do to a certain extent, and obviously depending on the experience level and so forth of players. But to me, getting that buy-in from players is more important than whether it's the best play ever, or whether we could find a better system, or whether it's the best way to utilize a specific player. If the players really understand and really believe in what we're doing, it's going to be effective regardless. And ultimately, it's the effectiveness in game situations that dictates whether or not it's the best system for a particular set of players, not how it fits in some isolated drawing on a wall, or breaking down different players into different styles and seeing if it really does fit the perception of their games, but how it works on the court. And a lot of that comes down to the belief in what you're doing.